on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I am JD from New York, and I'm bringing you the latest in WWE news and rumors. The big story coming out of Payback was not Roman Reigns winning the Universal Championship in the most illogical way possible. It was, in fact, Brock Lesnar and his contract status with the WWE. Lesnar is now a free agent. He is no longer with WWE. This is coming from PW Insider. They report that Lesnar and WWE have hit a stalemate during contract negotiations. This would explain why Lesnar's merchandise was removed on Monday from WWEshop.com. If you guys went to the website, you would have seen this picture. If you looked up Reigns merchandise for purchase, this is the message that WWE Shop would have given you. WrestleVotes also tweets about the situation, and they say on Twitter, and I quote, "The reports of Brock Lesnar being a free agent are true. In talking with a source, the belief is that once Lesnar is ready to work again, he'll let Vince McMahon know, or vice versa. If WWE needs Brock Lesnar, they will present a deal he can't refuse. Currently, it's nothing more than that." End quote. Now, we all know that Vince McMahon wanted Reigns and Lesnar, his two biggest names, back inside the WWE ThunderDome when WWE moved into the Amway Center. And with Lesnar not being there, everybody was saying that it's definitely travel restrictions. That is absolutely 100% true. If there's one thing in WWE we don't know much of at all, ever, it is Brock Lesnar's contract situation. With this situation, everybody was going crazy about his merchandise being pulled off of WWE Shop. Everybody was under the assumption that this has something to do with Lesnar not being affiliated with Paul Heyman, how Paul Heyman is now with Roman Reigns, how they're setting up Lesnar to come back and go against Heyman and Roman Reigns. God forbid. That sounds absolutely terrible. I'm glad none of you are actually a part of the WWE creative team, because it would somehow get worse than it already is with that idea on the table. This is nothing more than Lesnar just seeking more money from Vince McMahon. We've been through this game time and time and time again. The guy is going to be back in WWE. He's going to be making a mountain of money under Vince McMahon. He is 43 years old. Where do you expect him to go? And no, he's not going to AEW. No, Tony Khan might have interest, but Tony Khan is not going to spend the money on Brock Lesnar that Vince McMahon is going to spend on Brock Lesnar. They are a company that's only been around a year, and they do not need someone like Brock Lesnar. I don't even think Lesnar would fit into their overall plans on Dynamite. So he is not going to AEW. He is not going back to the MMA. Where else is Brock Lesnar going to go and work 25 dates a year and make upwards towards $10 million a year and not be punched in the face for real to do it? It's WWE. It's under Vince McMahon. Lesnar in WWE is treated like a god. Why would he go anywhere? This is nothing more than the same old shit we always talk about after WrestleMania. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania. This is about the time where everybody's wondering when Lesnar's coming back, who he's going to be fighting at SummerSlam or the Survivor Series, and what he's going to be doing going into next year's WrestleMania season. Folks, Lesnar's not going anywhere. He will be with the WWE. Please do not make this out to be more of a story than it already is. Lesnar will be with WWE. He's going to sign again, and he's going to be making all the amount of money that we expect WWE to be paying him. Another contract that WWE seems to be eyeing is the one concerning Wade Barrett. As you guys know, Wade Barrett returned to NXT as a commentator for last week's show. He will be back this week as of Tuesday tonight, and he will be there commentating over the Fatal 4-Way 60-minute Iron Man match to crown a new NXT champion. Wade Barrett in talks for a full-time WWE return. This is coming also from PW Insider. They are reporting that Barrett met with WWE officials and is currently negotiating a full-time return to the company as an announcer for NXT, for the main roster. Nobody knows that for sure, but I'm assuming it's going to be for NXT. The one question I have on top of that is, where is Nigel McGuinness? Is Nigel McGuinness going to be back with the WWE and be with NXT UK? Being that he cannot travel to the United States because of travel restrictions due to COVID-19. I hope that is the case. I really do. Nigel McGuinness was very talented, very good at what he did in NXT. Probably the best color man that WWE has right now in the company. I am hoping they bring him back and keep him in the company, but working for NXT UK. And when things go back to normal, he'll go right back to where he belongs, next to Mauro Ranallo. It was noted that Wade Barrett appearing on NXT was pretty much a feeling out process to see if the two sides were interested in working together moving forward. The report states that WWE has been interested in bringing Barrett back in this role since earlier this year. And if you guys remember, Barrett was actually a color commentator for NWA Power. It was added that there was talk over the last few days that Barrett could be plugged into the NXT UK role as an announcer as well. I don't think that's going to work. He's here in the United States. If you do have a Nigel McGuinness over there, and the reason why you furloughed him was because of the reasons of restrictions and you can't bring him to the United States, it's probably best to just stay where you are with Barrett here in the United States, being that he lives in New York City, and Nigel McGuinness over in NXT UK. I'm assuming he lives overseas, and you can plug him right into that role over there, and then you have the best of both worlds. Wade Barrett has always been great. He's always been a great talker. He's always been a very good in-ring hand as well. I was always very interested in maybe him coming back to the WWE. And in the landscape that is current WWE right now, you know that they are possibly thinking, maybe just not as an announcer, but maybe an in-ring return for the former Intercontinental Champion. There's a group of rebels running around known as RETRIBUTION. They don't have a leader right now. I don't think WWE even knows who's in the goddamn group as of this writing. Well, man, oh man, if WWE is thinking about bringing in Wade Barrett and bringing back Wade Barrett to the company, don't you think that Wade Barrett would fit in perfectly to lead Retribution? I mean, the story writes itself. I don't really need to go into why. I think you guys can figure that one out. WWE killed the Nexus. John Cena killed the Nexus. Heath Slater was just interviewed as of this week saying that he thinks 95% of the reason why the Nexus was killed was because of John Cena. Wade Barrett led the Nexus. That was a great storyline that WWE killed for what? Absolutely nothing. Don't you think it would make sense for Wade Barrett to lead another group of rebels in the WWE to get back at what they did to him all those years ago? It writes itself. I wouldn't be surprised. It's there for WWE to use if they want it. Let me know what you guys think about that. But either way, whether it's Retribution or a commentary role, I'm just happy that Wade Barrett is back in the WWE. Keeping with the UK theme, WWE is continuing to tease Drew McIntyre, who, by the way, is still the WWE champion. They are continuing to tease Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury in WWE, whether it happens at Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania. I hope to God this is one thing on the list of things to do that doesn't materialize on WWE programming. Drew McIntyre, quote unquote, is out of action with a hairline fracture to the jaw due to the punt kicks by Randy Orton on Monday Night Raw. This seemed to be the perfect time for Tyson Fury to talk shit about Drew McIntyre. He dropped a video while riding on a train overseas, and this is what he said about Drew McIntyre. Roll it.
Been sitting on the train on the way home after a long, busy weekend, and I'm thinking about the people that I want to punch in the face. And the first one that springs to mind It's a big fella called Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew, you've been having quite a bit to say about me lately. I'd love to punch your face in, honestly. I'd love to give you one of them. Bang. Right in the lips. So grow up here. Step up to the plate. Like I say to your mate AJ, and come and fight the master. Me. So this is an official challenge video to Drew McIntyre, the WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World. Already knocked your pal out, Braun Strowman. I'll do the same to you. Bring it.
Man, I gotta be honest with you, listening to that promo, wherever he shot that on his mobile device, I was afraid I was gonna fall asleep. I was afraid I was gonna pass out in the 1 minute and 30 seconds that video was. Are you fucking serious? Tyson Fury versus Drew McIntyre. Like, this is the thing that we need to start building for Drew McIntyre in the middle of what I think, personally, is a very good WWE Championship reign coming out of WrestleMania. Now, the reason why this is happening is WWE is so desperate for the public spotlight. They are so desperate to feel cool. They want that ESPN and Fox Sports coverage. They want the limelight and they want the publicity. And in these sick and twisted minds of WWE management, they think someone like Tyson Fury coming into Monday Night Raw, coming into SmackDown on Fox, is going to get them the publicity that they seek. They think it's going to be a ratings draw. In fact, it's going to do more damage than it is good. Nobody wants to see this. I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to see this. You should already have 2, 3, 4 names at best lined up for Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. None of them named Tyson Fury. You have to be fucking kidding me. Yes, because Tyson Fury added so much to WWE television when he feuded with Braun Strowman, going into Super Showdown or Crown Jewel or whatever the fucking show was called in Saudi Arabia. Give me a break. Nobody wants to see this. I had to sit through Pat McAfee, which WWE luckily got away with. In theory, I did not agree with it. In theory, I will never agree with an outsider coming in. That did nothing for NXT television at all. And this is going to do nothing for Monday Night Raw and the ratings. It failed once, it's going to fail every single time. Whereas Pat McAfee was a trained professional wrestler for about 3 years. This guy, Tyson Fury, has 0 years of training, and you want to put him in there with one of WWE's elite. I'm sorry, I don't see how this is going to work. I'm sorry, I don't see why this is needed on Monday night. Like I said, just stick to the fucking plan and get this guy 3, 4, maybe 5 names. If he's still gonna be the WWE champion coming out of Clash of Champions, we don't even know that. Randy Orton could be the new WWE champion in about 4 weeks. But my God, man, please do not do this all over again. It seems like every single year WWE has to dip into the celebrity cookie jar and seek desperate attention for ratings. This is not going to do anything. Just look at the promo. Look at this video promo he cut. Can you imagine? How is that supposed to generate any interest? I'm falling asleep now. Imagine this on Monday nights. Now, I think we all know that WWE ThunderDome is nothing more than a gimmick to generate interest in a dying product on Monday and Friday night. Fans don't seem to be taking their spots in the ThunderDome all that seriously. I mean, we seen a KKK rally, we seen a beheading. Chris Benoit was even showcased in the ThunderDome. Kenny Omega was inside the ThunderDome. I'm sure that sooner rather than later, we're going to see a sex tape or a porno inside the ThunderDome. I mean, somebody even fell asleep inside the ThunderDome. And now people are actively promoting AEW and Being The Elite inside WWE's newest virtual experience. Look at these screenshots that I grabbed off of Twitter. During the Randy Orton and Keith Lee match at Payback, one fan held up a Being The Elite foam finger. Now, this was displayed during a key moment in the match as Orton posed for the ThunderDome crowd. Now, as I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, Kenny Omega was shown inside the Thunderdome. He actually tweeted out about his appearance inside WWE's virtual experience. He says this on Twitter, and I quote, "I was just trying to have a good time. I honestly didn't think anyone would notice." And I replied saying, "Here's the title in the dirt sheets." On the following morning, Kenny Omega tampering with WWE contracts, seen scouting WWE talent in Thunderdome. Now, we all know that wasn't Kenny Omega. He was obviously ribbing everybody. He was having a good time, fucking with people on social media, because that's what Kenny Omega does. People thought it was serious. I knew right away that wasn't him. I mean, Jesus Christ. Why would Kenny Omega waste his time signing up and then refreshing his browser for 3 straight hours to be inside the Thunderdome for a WWE show? Give me a break. But my question is, what is WWE going to do to stop all of the stuff that they don't want appearing inside the Thunderdome on the hard camera? Are they going to put planted fans there? Are they going to put the goody two-shoes and the geeks in the community that really love WWE so much that they never have anything bad to say about WWE? Or are they going to actually have people pay to find a spot in the Thunderdome? I don't know. But I honestly think everybody is watching these shows on a weekly basis to see what is done next. What nefarious act, what clown-like stunt is going to happen next on Raw and happen next on SmackDown inside the WWE Thunderdome. Find out every Monday and Friday. Again, I actually got into the Thunderdome. Nobody's seen me on television, thank Christ. But I wanted to see what type of experience it was. I wanted to see if all the rumors were true about them really kind of ordering the crowd to boo for the people that they want booed and to cheer for the people that they want cheered. And all the reports were correct. WWE is in complete control of everything inside the Thunderdome. And obviously, when they told me to boo somebody, I cheered. And when they obviously told me to cheer somebody, I booed. But I wanted to see if I got booted. Nobody booted me. But WWE, yes, is in complete control of everything inside that Thunderdome, man. What a day. What a time to be alive, where WWE controls virtually everything that you see on television. We do not have a say. Not like we had a say anyway, but we zero have a say now on WWE television. One of the biggest stories in WWE, and one story that WWE is dropping the ball on, is Retribution. I got news on why WWE didn't have Retribution show up at the end of Payback on Sunday night. Ringside News has learned that Retribution didn't show up at Payback simply because it wouldn't have fit with anything they had planned for the night. It is not a sign at all of WWE losing faith in the faction of Masked Invaders. Oh, really? They didn't fit into any plans that WWE had for the night. Or is it that WWE is just so creatively inept that they can't write creative television? I think that's the reason. They could have easily fit Retribution into that main event. They could have easily did something different that was a little bit more logical than what we got with Roman Reigns. You know, him signing a contract after the match had already started, and him signing a contract when 90% of the match was already completed, and then commentary at the beginning of the match didn't even acknowledge Roman Reigns. And where Roman Reigns was, they called Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt as if it was another singles match. They didn't even elaborate on where Roman Reigns could possibly be. I didn't know Roman Reigns wielded a Money in the Bank contract. I didn't know Roman Reigns was given a second Money in the Bank contract. The geeks on social media made themselves look like the biggest bunch of idiots I think I could have possibly ever dreamed of. This does not make Roman Reigns a heel. It doesn't. It's not in the notebook of heels where you have to cheat to win, okay? I don't even know why I'm talking about this again. WWE labeled Roman Reigns a heel. They put Paul Heyman with him. That is the most heel-like act you could possibly do for somebody's career. But what they didn't make sense. You cannot sign a contract in the middle of a match. They advertised a triple threat. The bell rang. Where was he? He didn't show up. Soon as that bell rung, you are null and void of a championship match. You can't sign a contract and then enter the match. Simple. This is why I said WWE is already disappointing us with the Roman Reigns heel turn. He doesn't need to be a heel that cheats to win. Roman Reigns should go in there, legitimately wreck everyone and leave, but also be a dick doing it. Coming off like a dick. Wear the suits, wear the fancy suits, wear the big Rolex watches. That's the type of heel Roman Reigns needs to be. Not a guy that's gonna fucking weasel himself in to a Universal Championship. I'm not gonna believe in that type of Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns never had to do that his entire career. So spare me the bullshit. Now that I got that off my chest again, why didn't Roman Reigns show up at the end of Payback? They could have easily showed up at the end of Payback. Maybe give us a tease. Maybe Heyman's aligned with Retribution. Maybe Roman Reigns is aligned with Retribution. WWE clearly did not give a shit about creative writing here or maybe teasing things with Retribution. Payback was supposed to end with Roman Reigns getting all the focus, and they didn't want Retribution or an invasion to clutter things up, says Ringside News. The Retribution angle is not dropped at all. They will be back. But as Ringside News previously reported, anything can happen at this stage. I've said time and time again, WWE has no idea where they're going with this. They have no idea who's in the group. We've seen the group legitimately grow up from midgets all the way up to somebody the size of Dominik Dijakovic in 3 weeks. They don't have anybody in mind for this group. Renee Young, who goes by the name of Renee Paquette, now on social media, and CM Punk even called attention to the fact that Retribution was absent from Payback. They said this on social media. Punk said they were watching a hockey game, and Renee Young asked, why isn't Retribution on the show? I've been saying it for the last 3 weeks now. WWE needs to keep interest in this group. I've been saying it for the last week and a half now. WWE needs to do something where somebody is unmasked in Retribution to keep the gimmick or the storyline alive. If we keep seeing the same thing over and over again, people, as from what I can see, are quickly and will quickly lose interest. But I don't put anything past WWE. Every time we get excited about something, every time there seems to be a storyline that may have some interesting aspects to it, they always let us down and we end up disappointed. I am not surprised by that whatsoever. Speaking of disappointment, man, in the final story today on OTS Extra, how about Matt Riddle's run on the main roster on SmackDown so far? It could be labeled as a disappointment. And don't at me. Fan outrage on WWE for a Matt Riddle promo that aired Sunday night at Payback. Fans were made to feel rather uncomfortable Sunday night at Payback when WWE had Baron Corbin, I will not call him king, seemingly made reference to Matt Riddle cheating on his wife as part of their ongoing feud. I don't understand why this is necessary when the entire fucking feud was built on a king's ransom. What that king's ransom is, I don't know. It could be anything from a Starbucks gift card to a fucking gift card at Target. Maybe I could go buy your fucking writing staff some Crayola crayons. Because that's exactly what this show seems to be written in every fucking week. Riddle recently admitted to cheating on his wife back in July. However, the person he cheated with had accused him of sexual assault, of course, in June as part of the Speaking Out movement. It is important to note that Riddle denies these allegations, again, of course. Prior to Payback on Sunday night, Baron Corbin took to Twitter to say the following to Matt Riddle, and I quote, as you guys see on the screen there, he called him a failure. Corbin says, and I quote, tonight I prove that Matt Riddle is a failure in a WWE ring. Man, that's the pot calling the kettle black there, huh? Yeah, because Baron Corbin is so great in the WWE ring. His gimmick is so great on SmackDown, right? A ratings killer is Baron Corbin, the king. The failure is what he should name his fucking Twitter handle as. By the way, he's already proven to be a failure at home. End quote. I don't really understand why this needs to make its way into a WWE storyline. It's not even the biggest aspect of, it's not even an aspect, period, of the storyline on SmackDown with Matt Riddle. The entire story was Baron Corbin wanting to take out Matt Riddle, and he was going to pay others to do it because he didn't want to do it because he's a heel. And he called it the King's Ransom. Take out Matt Riddle and I'll pay you a King's Ransom. Again, whatever the fuck that was, I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe it was fucking coins in the Super Mario world, you know? Maybe he stole coins from Mario and Luigi. He's gonna pay fucking Chad Gable fucking coins in a virtual universe. I don't fucking know what it is. But regardless of all that, whatever Baron Corbin said about Matt Riddle has nothing to do with the storyline. You seemingly put all of this to bed for Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle had to come out, not once, not twice, but 3 different times and express himself about this allegation during the speaking out movement. And then this was all during his debut and his call-up, or demotion is what I want to call it, to SmackDown. You debuted him on television in the middle of all this. You seemingly swept it under the rug. WWE had, I guess, found out that there was nothing there on Matt Riddle. And now you want to bring this up in storyline? That, to me, tells me WWE doesn't have anywhere else to go with this. They wanted this for some odd reason after Payback to continue. And this is their way of making it continue into the next couple of shows when they don't really need to do that. How serious do you take Matt Riddle to be as a WWE superstar if you are doing this and you are putting this out there in the universe? Do you take him to be a WWE superstar, a serious WWE superstar? Are you serious about pushing Matt Riddle? Or are you in the business of beating him down and embarrassing him? Matt Riddle said, I'm not afraid of anybody on the main roster or my promotion to the main roster. I'm not afraid of them burying me. This is the first sign of WWE burying Matt Riddle. This should have not made television at all. I don't know who the fuck on the writing team let Baron Corbin go out there and say this publicly. That to me shows me that WWE isn't about Matt Riddle on Friday nights. And man, oh man, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the opportunity to sit here and tell you I told you so about Matt Riddle. He beats AJ Styles. He gets an Intercontinental Championship match right out of the gate. And then after that, clueless as far as what to do creatively with Matt Riddle. What a goddamn shame. It really sucks, man. WWE should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. Really. And how insensitive are they to make light of the situations where everybody and all the people that came out and expressed how they were abused, how WWE's making light of the situation, putting it in a promo, using these people's pain and suffering as far as the storyline goes when it's a very real situation. WWE, man, when you think they can't get any lower, they always outdo themselves. When you think they can't bury anybody fast enough, they always seem to top themselves every single time. Guys, I'm getting out of here. You know what? I top myself every single fucking time, man. Thank you guys so very much for joining me right here on OTS Extra. I will not be reviewing NXT tonight. I am taking the night off. It's a 2-match show. And to be quite honest with you, man, I want to sit down and I want to enjoy 60 minutes of 4 of the very best in WWE for the NXT Championship. If I do talk about it, I'll talk about it on the Dynamite review when I sit right here with my buddy Jesse and we go over the go-home show for AEW Dynamite and All Out. So be sure that NXT's happening, and I'm not going to be here live for a review as always. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. I will be tweeting about it, though. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, and I'll be right back here tomorrow night with AEW Dynamite as we talk about the go-home show for All Out. See you guys later.